Hey, it's Lynn Brown. I'm a speaker, trainer, coach with the John Maxwell team. The first half of my life, I was a people pleaser. And then in my spare time, I was trapped by the opinions of others. Then one day, I took a step, just one step in the direction of my dream, and everything began to change. I'm committed to spending the rest of my life on this big blue rock, becoming the best version of myself, and partnering with people who want to do the same. I have built my business on the passion of wanting to add value to other people and the importance of growing a gritty mindset. So today, we're going to find out just how gritty you are. We know that great answers come from great questions. So here we go. I want you to think into this question. Are you a better finisher or a starter? Just take a few seconds and think into this, because there's gold in your answer. Whatever your answer is, there is gold in your answer, because success leaves clues. And we know we can just look back in our life, and I know that you have past successes in your life. Maybe it was in school, elementary, middle, high school, after high school. Maybe it was a spelling bee or sports. Maybe you excelled in music. Perhaps you are a stay-at-home mom and you've pushed out wonderful babies. These are all learning models all throughout your life. Maybe it was a lemonade stand in your neighborhood and you rocked the sales. You had the top of the sales every time in your neighborhood. But just like this, we know that if there's an up, there's also a down, and we have to think into past projects, goals, and dreams that have not been accomplished. These are models too. Now, trust me, prior to starting my growth journey, honestly, y'all, I was the queen of the unfinished project. In addition to unfinished projects, I chased a lot of shiny objects too. But for the most part, you could call my childhood friends right now and ask them, what did Lynn do every Monday of her life growing up? And they would tell you this: I started a new diet or health program, whichever you want to call it, every Monday of my life. And I gave up on it about Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning, because I'd start rattling in the potato chip bag. But when I changed how I looked at health, and I honestly, waking up in ICU after my heart attack helped me change how I looked at health. But when I changed the way I looked at things, the things I looked at changed. And I'm sure you've heard that before yourself. And it's such a simple Pinterest quote, but how many of us really apply that to our lives? But when I took that step 5 years ago and I truly began to grow, personally grow and develop in my life and grow this gritty mindset, everything changed. And so, we ask, why is this so important? Why is a gritty mindset so important? But it really starts with having the desire to become the best version, of yourself. Just to start right where you are, just right now. And if you're not driving, I would encourage you to do this simple process just right now. Write down one thing you're grateful for. I know you've heard me say that a million times, but just write down one thing you're grateful for. On your pad of paper, pencil, pen, whatever, write it down. Congratulations. You're on your way. Honestly, y'all, that is where I started. It was that one simple step. And that one little step became a huge catalyst for change in my life. I mean, I stopped wishing and wanting and hoping. Because hope is not a strategy. Just believing and wishing, even knowing that we were created for more is not enough. We have to put action behind our beliefs. Everything worth having is uphill. Until I began to grow personally and really to grow this gritty mindset, nothing changed. I mean, I was born and raised in a wonderful family. I grew up in church, and I still attend church. I had a wonderful childhood, but y'all, all this did not make up for the lack of that gritty mindset. Now, I will tell you, and I'm going to touch on this in just a second, but I did have one thing going in my life, and it's just I had that bounce back ability. from a very early age in my life. And I am a person of faith. And so I grew up on the stories in the Bible of great triumph. I'm so glad David didn't shrink back when he faced the giant. And he killed that dadgum giant, y'all. And we have that same power in us. You know, everybody wants, you know, the miracle. But not many people want to sign up really for the journey, because we know what that journey entails. There are a lot of ups and downs. But, you know, growing up in middle and high school, and even later on in my life, I approached most areas of my life with that goal of playing not to lose. I mean, I landed in average and in that status quo, that comfort zone, which is really, there's nothing comfortable about it. But getting by was good enough for me. I mean, I practiced that. I perfected that skill, and it showed up in every area of my life. And there's one thing, you know, we know, and you can write this down too. Practice makes permanence. So, you know, now what I do in my coaching and training business is, and I speak to teams and individuals about this all the time, it's in the area of resilience. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the people I talk to lack this one trait in their life. And without it, really, we are not capable of bouncing back from life's failures and life's pain. We know that we're not going to have a life free of pain and setbacks. But when resilience is lacking, I believe that's why, you know, we see a lot of people that are fragile. Have you ever been around anybody that just gets upset by every single thing? The wind blows this way, they get upset. It blows the other way, they get upset. I mean, these people are just not happy people. And I'll be honest, they're a little hard to be around. But one way to begin to grow this resilience is just kind of step back for a minute, just spend a little bit of time in that place and get some perspective. I mean, really, how bad is this problem? Is it really that serious? Is it really that serious? I always try to when I find my place in one of those places, I try to think of something that I can be thankful for. You know, I mean, our air condition has been out for the last, you know, couple of days. We live in, you know, a very hot climate. But I'm thankful I have a house. You know, I have cold water to drink. There's always something to be grateful for. So I want you to think about this in reference to where you are and what you want to accomplish, you know, in your life or today for that matter. What's the worst thing that could happen? You know, what if you did start the new business, or what if you did set a new health goal? What if you're like, I'm going to drink 3 more glasses of water today, or I'm going to walk around, you know, the track 2 more times today. What if you just decide today, you know what, I'm going to be the best version of me. I'm going to write the book, or I'm going to call the person I hadn't talked to in a while. Compare the good in your life to the bad. You know, maybe things really aren't as bad as we think they are. When we begin to grow these gritty mindsets, you will be amazed at your perspective. In school and at home, on the job, even in churches, I find that some people, not all people, some people are so quick to settle for that diagnosis that comes from the doctor. They just accept it. We do not have to accept that. The grade, the result. Now, I'm not saying don't be realistic. So let me backtrack just for a second. We can know the truth, but we can also be determined how we are going to approach it. We got to get tough. We got to push ourselves to toughen up. How will you know what you're capable of? I mean, if we don't. Come on now. I mean, yeah, we were created for such time as this. We're built for this moment. You have so much more strength than you realize. And when you find that strength, you will grow your resilience. I never really thought I could double my income until I was surrounded by people, you know, that were doing it. And guess what? I'm beginning to experience it myself. As I have shared, I am a person of faith, and And this is the reality. If we're not lit up and if we're not on fire, and if people are not inspired and influenced by what they see in us, then we need to take a good look at the results in our life. So, I live lit up. I'm sure you would agree that, there's never been a more important time in the history of our world than right now for us to become the best humans possible. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know that we're doing our best job at it right now. And yes, I understand. There's so many things out of our control. I can't stop, starvation as a whole across the world. I can't do that. Or any of the things that cause trauma and separate us. I can't stop it, but I can start doing what I can where I am. Even a simple thing as parents just trying to protect their children, whatever age, to prevent them from failure. That's not the answer either. And I'll tell you that I failed as a parent in that area a lot of the times. I will never forget my son asking me this question. I think he was about 9 years old, right in my kitchen. I know exactly where it was. And he said, you talk all about your, the sales director that I had at that time. And he said, you talk about her and all of her money and all the good things she does with her money to help other people. He said, but when are you going to stop talking about her money and make your own? That hit me right between the eyes like a 2x4. Has that ever happened to you? Emerson said that we have to do the thing and then we'll have the thing. And I'm convinced that it's more than the test scores. It's more than an IQ. It's more than, the zip code, where you live, who your parents are, the money in your bank account, what you look like, whether you're, in the job that you love or you're not, whatever. These things do not determine your success and significance. It's up to you. It's up to me to stop wishing and hoping and thinking and to start working. Because you got to fight for what you want. That's the truth. You gotta fight for it. Today, at 5:30 this morning, my niece loaded up her car and she headed to California to answer the call in her life as a missionary. What about you? And honestly, it doesn't matter how old you are. She's young. She happens to be very young. Maybe you are and maybe you're not. But what could you do today? It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that you're not willing to do it. There are so many speakers, trainers, and coaches that are so much more intelligent and successful and brilliant than me. I will tell you that. And some of them have even asked me, like, how'd you start the podcast? And I said, well, first of all, it's not perfect. And second of all, I just started it. What are you willing to do today? It's time for us to get gritty, to continue to just grit up again and grit up again. Yep, one more time. Get up one more time. That's right. Scrape yourself up off the floor. And like Les Brown says, if you can look up, you can get up. So get up. Yep, one more time. I know it's hard, and it's going to be. But it's about being happy now, where you are now. Because this is the truth, and I didn't come up with this one. We got to be happy with the little things, the small things, and where we are now before we'll ever be trusted by our Creator with the bigger things. So we got to be happy now and then go accomplish the thing. It's not the opposite. It's not, oh, well, let me do this first, then I'll be happy. No, it's about being happy right now, right where you are. And I'll say it one more time. It starts with gratitude, because a grateful heart is a magnet for a miracle. And we know right now that the world needs us gritty. We got to have gratitude. We got to have that fight and resilience. We have to be inspiring and influencers. We got to be tough, and we got to think for ourselves. And you know what? Just be you. Just do you. Where you are is a result of who you were. But where you end up is going to depend entirely on who you choose to be from this moment on, this very second. Who do you choose to be? All right, guys and girls and whoever's listening to the sound of my voice, let's get gritty and go be who you were created to be. Take care, and I'll see you soon.